The Quick Access Toolbar is this little shaded area up in the upper left-hand corner here. To customize it, you can do it one of three ways. You can either, when in doubt, go ahead and right-click on it, and then left-click on Customize in this little shortcut menu here, and then it brings up the pop-up window. You can choose from a list of popular commands down here you can scroll through, like creating a new slide or even opening up previous slides. So I can open up previous slides by double-clicking on it. It adds it over here to what I already have up on the toolbar. Save, undo, redo, and save as. I also have Print Preview. And then when I'm finished, go ahead and click OK, and it adds the two up at the top. So what I can do is I can go ahead and click on the Open Folder button and then navigate to the desktop to any presentations that I have on the desktop or to my exercise folder, and there's Introducing PowerPoint 2007. I can double click on that and it opens it up. Now, did it close the other one that I had open? Well, no. If you look down the taskbar and you learn this in Windows Level 1, you can see I have my Presentation 1 button, my original presentation, where it has no title. And then I have one that I already saved and I've been working on. You can click on that button, it brings it back. If I'm done with this one, I can come up here in the upper right hand corner and click the X button. It closes out of that presentation but leaves up this presentation here. If I want to go ahead and get rid of these buttons, I can right click on them and remove them from my Quick Access Toolbar. Again, it's just a simple right click and remove. Another way to add buttons, instead of just right clicking here and going to the Customize, let me click off in a blank area. You can also click on its little arrow, drop down arrow, and choose some of the popular commands. There's Open. And there's Quick Print. The difference between Print and Quick Print is Print brings up a little pop-up that allows you to choose your printer settings, like how many pages you want to print off, where Quick Print bypasses all that. It just assumes you want to print everything. In any case, you can still come down here and do more commands, which is just the same as right-clicking and customizing your Quick Access Toolbar up here, okay? There's our popular commands. Of course, you can click on the drop-down arrow and go to All Commands, and see that little scroll bar gets really tiny because there's just tons of commands here, and it's all alphabetized. Come down here to Close. If I double-click on that, it adds it over to the right-hand side and click OK. What Close does is that when I click on the X, it closes not only the program, but actually the presentation. But if I want the presentation closed, but not the program, I have my Close button. For example, I can go ahead and click on it, and it says, do you want to save it? I can say no. See how it leaves the program open, just closes out of the presentation. So that way I can have the program still open, come up here and click on the Office logo button, open up other presentations, or come over here to my recent documents here, which whatever I've been working on recently here will be listed here, the top 20. So if I come over here and I click on PowerPoint presentation, which is the one that you just saw I opened up, the most recent one, I click on it, pulls it right back up. Now it only pulls it up if you leave it in that folder. In other words, it's got an address link that you don't see. I know this is getting off the subject here, but call this a spiffy or a bonus. When I click on the Office logo button, this is pointing, when I hover over it, you see the address right popping below it. It's in the desktop exercise folder. So if I close out of the presentation and then click and drag it and move it over there. So when I double click and open it up, and I click on the Office logo and I say, well, go ahead and get it. Well, you can see it's not in the exercise folder. So when I click on it, it says, I don't know where it's at. Good luck with that. So just make sure you're not moving things around. In any case, I can close out of that, come to my desktop. You can see it's hiding right here. I'll click on it, hold it, and drag it back in there. Close out, double click, open up PowerPoint, and then click my Office logo button, come down here, and pointing into that same folder, exercise folder, you can see it right there in the pop-up, and click on it. It pulls it right up. Now, if this is a presentation I'm going to be using constantly, when you click on the Office logo button, again, this is the top 20 most recent documents. What you can do is you can push the little pin in here, and that means it'll always be there. Now, it may not be the most recent presentation, or as it says, document. So if I open up 19 other or 25 other presentations, this one's going to bump all the way to the bottom, but it's not going to bump off because we pinned it in. So everything else, when it hits up to 19, will be bumped off because the 20th one is reserved for whatever one is push pinned in. Okay. Of course, I can click on it again, so that means it'll automatically roll off once it hits number 21. In any case, click off in a blank area. Now, a third way you can go ahead and add things to your Quick Access Toolbar here is you can add groups. You can actually add their dialog box buttons. So for example, if I want to add this group to the Quick Access Toolbar, I don't know why, because it's right here. For example, if I right click on the group and say add, adds it up there. So when I click on it, it's the same group here as I see down here. So to me, there's no real point in adding groups unless I add a group from another tab here that I don't want to be clicking on tabs. I just want one-stop shopping. So if I'm on the animation tab, instead of clicking on home and then going to the font group, hey, just stay on the animations tab and just click on this button here, and there's my font group. Of course, as you already know, or as we're beginning to find out, when you're editing your text and you click in here, you right click, it also brings up your, well, a little smaller toolbar version of your home tab of your font group there with a few formatting features. I mean, you can change the font, click off in a blank area, it disappears. So like I said, that may be helpful if you want to add your groups up to the top, because you don't want to be bouncing around from tab to tab, because usually you're working on the animation tab and you don't want to go back to the home. Okay, the other thing you can do is you can also add expandable dialog boxes to it. So I'm going to go back to the home tab, click in the text below, because the font doesn't get activated until I'm actually working in some text, okay, which makes sense. And then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and right click that little expandable dialog box button. So when I right click it, I want to add that to the Access toolbar, and notice how the buttons are different. One's got a red underline, the other one doesn't. So if I want to go ahead and make changes, watch the difference. When I click on it, that's the font group, click off in a blank area, click on this one, that's the expandable dialog box group for the text that I have selected below. So pretty cool. In other words, you can stay on one tab here and have your groups up here on this quick access toolbar up here from other tabs, and also have expandable dialog box buttons. So you can basically stay on one tab and have a bunch of groups listed up here. In fact, this quick access toolbar, I'm not sure how far it goes, but it could go over there quite a ways. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.